got questions, I got answers. We'll get right to it here on this mailbag edition of Ravens Rundown, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. We got plenty of questions on this guy right here, Derrick Henry, one of the newest members of the Baltimore Ravens. Also, we'll talk about a potential trade for Brandon Aiyuk, among other things as well. All that and more coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, folks, we're getting closer and closer to 16,000 subscribers here on Ravens Rundown. A little less than 100 away from reaching that next milestone. The latest happenings in your favorite team. Subscribe now for free as we cover the Baltimore Ravens all offseason long with daily news and rumors. We're talking trades, free agency, draft, and more. We are your offseason headquarters right here on Ravens Rundown. Subscribe now for free, and we'll get started with today's show. Ravens fan for life wants to know, should the Ravens trade for Brandon Aiyuk? He seems unhappy with the 49ers. So to kind of provide context of what Ravens fan for life is talking about, Aiyuk has been very public about his contract situation, that he is looking for a new deal. And more than likely, I think the 49ers are going to have to choose between Brandon Aiyuk or Deebo Samuel. With their salary cap and what those guys command money-wise, with what Deebo's already making and what Brandon Aiyuk's going to make in his next contract, there's just simply not enough money to pay everybody at this juncture. So one of them is going to have to go. It seemed like the consensus was, within the last couple of weeks, that Deebo Samuel would be the one that would more likely be on the move of sorts, being the older receiver. Brandon Aiyuk, not to mention, outplayed Deebo last year. But the more that Brandon Aiyuk sounds off and is upset about his contract situation, maybe that puts Brandon Aiyuk on the trade block even more so than Deebo Samuel potentially. But nonetheless, one of them is going to be gone from San Francisco sooner than later. I would guess one of them does not return to this team in 2024. With that said, I look at this situation. I think Brandon Aiyuk would be a very good fit with the Baltimore Ravens. I would take him over Deebo Samuel. I would love to make that trade happen to add a prime-time receiver next to Zay Flowers. I think it would make a lot of sense. It wouldn't be cheap, but it could take this team up to the next level. So I'm typing yes in the comments section. Let us know what you think. Y for yes, N for no. If the Ravens should trade for Brandon Aiyuk or not, let us know what you think. Today's show is sponsored by GameTime. GameTime, the place to go for the best tickets for the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, GameTime's got it all for you. Here's how it works. You go to GameTime, download the app, choose the event you want to go to. Let's say you want to go to a Baltimore Orioles game with the baseball season here upon us. Great time to get out to Camden Yards like I did last season, and I would love to be back this year. You look at the seat you want. You see if you like it or not. Check out the view. Look for those flash deals, and then boom, within a matter of moments, you're checking out on GameTime, and you can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. They make it easy for you. And if I need to sweeten the pot a little bit, here's what I am willing to offer you folks. We are giving $20 off your first purchase when you use GameTime for the very first time. So what are you waiting for? Start saving today with GameTime. $20 off, promo code ChatSports. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Download GameTime today. Terms and conditions do apply. GameTime, the best seats, the lowest prices, guaranteed. Flock Fandom wants to know, what will Derrick Henry's role be in the Ravens' offense? So it's funny that you bring this up, Flock, because what we're going to see with Derrick Henry is something different than what we've seen with the leading running backs over the last couple of years with the Baltimore Ravens. Last year, Gus Edwards was the bell cow for the majority of the season, and J.K. Dobbins was supposed to be the guy, right? And what we've seen with this Ravens offense, especially in the Greg Roman era, was that Lamar would be your leading rusher, and then it was kind of running back by committee who had the hot hand of sorts would be your next leading rusher beyond that and the guy they go with in the running back room. I think what you're going to see, Derrick Henry, with what they've invested in Derrick Henry so much, he is still the guy. He is priority number one no matter what. And I love me some Keaton Mitchell. I know Justice Hill's going to be back and everything. but the run game starts with Derrick Henry, and it goes from there. I hope, I pray that Lamar Jackson doesn't lead this team in rushing this year, that they really work Derrick Henry and that he gets at least 20 touches a game. And honestly, that's going to be a help to Lamar Jackson because if he's having to run less, if he's becoming more of a pocket quarterback, that means two things. That means that he's become a better passer and he's more likely to stay healthy. So with that said, I think Derrick Henry, kind of his number one job is not only to be successful, obviously, but to take the load off Lamar Jackson. I expect him to do that. Now, I do think the Ravens will add another running back before the end of the offseason, whether it be a veteran, maybe it's bring back Dalvin Cook or J.K. Dobbins, or maybe it's draft somebody. Who is another running back the Ravens should add this offseason? Drop me a name in the comments section and let us know what you think. Mr. Lewis writes in, can the Ravens offense pick up the slack for what the team will lose on defense? So if you've been watching this show for the last several weeks, one common theme that we've talked about on this program is that the Ravens lost so much defensively, right? 20-plus free agents this year, and the vast majority were defensive players. And the task at hand for the Baltimore Ravens with losing that much on defense was going to be, hey, can you step up your offense enough to make up for what you're going to lose on the defense? Because bottom line is this. In today's day and age of the National Football League, it's not defense wins championships anymore. Great offense beats great defense. That's a different story than what it was many years ago. And so if the Ravens can get an additional playmaker on this offense, whether that be another very good running back or if they go get another receiver, maybe it's even the draft for that matter, in addition to shoring up that offensive line, then yes, the offense can make up for what they've lost defensively. But at the moment, if the season started today, that answer is no. But I don't think that Eric Decosta and John Harbaugh are done putting this roster together, and I would expect some changes where they reach that point eventually, where the offense does make up for what they lost defensively. Last question in the mailbag this week. What else does Lamar Jackson need on this offense? So we've talked over the last couple of weeks about some of these free agent wide receivers that are out there. At the time of this recording, the names like Michael Gallup have been talked about. They ended up losing out on Josh Reynolds. He went elsewhere. I know Tyler Boyd has been talked about a lot, as a name out there, although maybe not for Baltimore. But you got some okay, kind of above average veterans out there. But I think your biggest impact is going to be through the draft. And the Ravens have one of the best scouting departments in football. They know what they're doing when it comes to finding players in the draft. And let's say at 30, okay, if you decide to go receiver there, guys like Xavier Worthy, Adonai Mitchell, Keon Coleman, most years these guys would be top 15 draft picks. But the wide receiver class is so deep this year that you have options there. Maybe you even trade up potentially in the second round and get one of the guys that falls so you don't have to sacrifice your first-round pick that you need on an offensive lineman. But to me, that's what I'm looking for. Lamar needs another skill position player, and he needs more help on the offensive line. If they can take care of those things, this Ravens offense is going to be in great shape. What's your confidence level in the Ravens offense? I'm feeling pretty good, but obviously there's work to be done. I'm putting this at a 7 right now because think about this. As we've stated previously, what the Baltimore Ravens are trying to do in 2024, it's not about competing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cleveland Browns, and the Cincinnati Bengals. It's not about competing with the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins, for that matter. It's about going toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Chiefs, they got better. When you added Hollywood Brown to the mix, on top of already having Mahomes and Kelsey, they got better. Ravens still have work to do to try to keep up with what's going on in Kansas City. Subscribe now to a Ravens Rundown for the latest happenings in your favorite team all off-season long. We got you covered. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.